Welcome, everyone, to the New Health Conversation. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I started the New Health Conversation because I sure as heck think we need one. Today, we're going to go over the unbelievable story of Sean. We've become friends in just a very, very short period of time. First, what I want to do is I want to show you the before and afters. Now, you will think it's Photoshop, but we have Sean here live. This is, and also, just a little house cleaning before we start. This is for educational purposes only. It's not intended to treat, diagnose, or make any medical claims whatsoever. So first, before I bring Sean on, I'm going to show you his before and after, which to me is just is crazy. Now you can see there. You look at him on the left. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to have him tell you. He's not holding his stomach in. Look at day one, 212 pounds, a 40-inch waist, okay? Then look at, that's exactly 11 days later on the morning of the 12th, 198.4, 14 pounds, 4 inches. Look at the stomach. You couldn't hold your stomach in that much, okay? So now I'm going to come back here for just a moment here. Okay, well, welcome, Sean. I've been looking forward to this. The reason I'm so looking forward to it is, we want people to understand you've just really started on your journey. And full disclosure, there's no way when you started, you would. We're friends now. I know you wouldn't lie to me, but there's no way you weren't skeptical when you heard these kind of stories. And now that it's happening to you, what would you just say about it, about how, I guess, blown away you are? So here's what I would say to you, and I warned you. I said in the beginning, and now you're picking up the charge. I said, Sean, with all due respect, you have no idea how bad you feel right now. Not that you felt bad. You didn't even understand that you felt bad compared to how you feel now. So hold that for one moment. I guess, I always ask people this because your journey really has just begun, although I'm gonna do something to just let people know, because I'm such this nerdy researcher scientist guy, right? So I'm gonna, and Sean, and I want to tell the audience, those that are just tuning in, that we only rely on medical proof. So right here I have a big study from the New England Journal of Medicine to put your results in perspective. Okay, Sean, this was a 12-month study, not 12 weeks, not 12 days, 12 months. And what they did in the study, they had a combination of people who did low-calorie diets, which I think you've done before. We'll talk about that in a moment, about things you've tried in the past. And then they also had a group that did this new big rage called time-restricted eating, where you don't eat for 16 hours and you eat for 8. Now, again, this is not Peter Greenlaw's opinion. We don't give you opinions. My opinion, I don't want anybody to believe me, but I want them to believe the science. Sean, in 12 months, the people who lowered calories lost in a year, Sean, 16 pounds. And time-restricted eating, they lost 12.6 pounds. But here's the downside to all diets, Sean. I'm going to read, this is right from the study. I'm not making it up. Both the time-restricted eating and daily caloric restriction diets led to the loss of lean muscle mass. You can already see, Sean, you realize you lost more weight in 11 days than the people doing time-restricted eating in a year, and almost as much weight as people lost in 12 months by calorie reduction. Look, Sean, you know your body. The change in your abdomen, your waist, your stomach, it's got to be like unbelievable. And you notice you don't have any loose skin, because what you did, you shrank the fat and you've already increased the muscle. And I don't even think you've had time really to work out much. So is that one of the things that kind of just astounds you when you look at this?
100%. One thing that I've been walking.
We have a technical little glitch, I think. So they're saying the participant sound is like a whisper. So I don't know if you can turn your sound up or talk louder or something, because we're having a little bit of trouble hearing you. And we want, obviously, people to hear this because it's really very... So everyone, pause for just a moment, because we really do want you to hear this story, because although I will tell you, it's not that unusual. His story is pretty typical of what we have people say all the time. We have an expression, just give us 4 days. He's already proven that just give us 4 days works. Now, can you hear me okay, Sean?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Is that any better?
Okay.
My technical people, I want them to...
Yes.
Let me see if that's better for the sound. Can you hear him better now? Put it in the chat.
Sir. Testing. 14 pounds, 14 pounds, 11 days, 4 days, 7 pounds.
All right, let me put your poster back up while he's confirming that we can do this. So again, everyone, this is what we're talking about. Sean, in 11 days, he really did lose 14 pounds and 4 inches. Look at his stomach. There's the tail of the tape. We were just talking about that a minute ago. that the visceral fat, you can literally see how it shrank. He's not holding his stomach in. That's one of the things I think you want to know the most about. So, sounds great. Okay, you fixed it. Way to go, Sean.
All right,
Oh,
let's go.
fabulous,
Let's
fabulous.
go.
So
iPhone solution, the
yeah.
wire headphone, $20. Go get yours.
But Sean, for everyone out there, because the reason that I started the New Health Conversation, I see the desperation, you know, and I think you know the story about my own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy. And 23 years ago, she called me up one day and said, you know, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? And she said, I would give anything if I could just spend 24 hours thin. And sadly,
right.
6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. And Sean, the reason I started on this journey was because my mother did about every diet that you could ever imagine. I mean, just crazy, right? I mean, from Atkins to paleo to OptiFast to the grapefruit diet to the, you know, diet after over and over and over again, right? And what happened was that I believe she dieted herself to death. And I can't tell you, Sean, if I could have been in a position to have known what I know now, of course I couldn't do it 23 years ago. I can't imagine what that would be worth. So one of the many things that I admire about you is that you're completely authentic. I want everybody to know, I'm not paying Sean to be on here. I don't pay on my podcast. He's coming on, and this is his story. But Sean, right. I know that you feel that you've spent, you know, really a lifetime helping other people, et cetera. But how do you see this in terms of now what you're experiencing? And let me say this first. What has really surprised you? I mean, even after the fourth day, obviously your belief went through the moon. But what now? Now it's been, I think you're on day 13 or something.
I'm on 15. I'm on day 15 now.
Okay,
that's right. So here's what I'm so proud of the most, Peter. Never before in my life I can look back and see what I had in the last 7 days in my system. I was putting regular fuel in a Ferrari. I'm wondering why I was not operating on optimum speed. So when I started using the product, I can tell exactly what's in my body, what time it's going in, and I see the difference in the way my body is performing. And I'm telling you, it's light years. Now, Peter, in full disclosure, I have 5 kids. They're all amazing, and they all have beautiful genes, just like their dad. And I don't have the obesity in my direct family. However, I have aunts, cousin. And now that you mentioned about your mom, now you triggered me to have to now go into my extended family and really start making presentation and having conversations. Because when I discovered what this product is doing for me and how extraordinary and amazing it is, based on exactly the formula that you put together, Peter, I was like, the world needs to know about this. The world needs to know about this. And in confession, I pray to God and I ask God, give me a good product that I can share with the world. I don't want to sell ice and ice cream. I don't want to sell water to a drunken man. I don't want to sell fish to the ocean. Like, come on. But I'm trying to share with you, my ability to sell is up there. But I wanted something so good that it will help humanity. So when we created our product, I thought I was satisfied until I met you, Peter, because you covered the health conversation. In life, we have to pay attention to 2 things, your health and your finance. Because you can be the best fitness instructor in the world. If you're broke, you're headed to disaster. You can be the richest guy in the block, but if your health is compromised, you're headed to disaster. So when you enter into my world, Peter, now I'm able to have the health and the wealth conversation, and nothing feels better than this. It feels really good.
I have an expression that really I don't think anyone would argue with the fact that our health is our wealth. There's nothing that's more important. And, you know, Sean, you know that I've been at this as a researcher for 21 years. I'm not trying to impress people, but I want to press upon them. I've written 4 best-selling books with medical doctors. I did 20 shows on PBS. I've done 1,500 lectures all over the world. But for 20 of those years, it meant nothing. And I know one of the things that really impressed you, Sean, was the fact this is the only system in the world with not 1, 2, or 3, but 7 peer-reviewed human trial studies that are proving that what you're doing, number one, it's safe, but also that it's sustainable. Even though it's only been 15 days for you, you've seen like some of the other people that you've met, like Cindy, who's a nurse who is now, I think Cindy's 53, and she now weighs less than she did in high school, and she's been able to maintain it for a couple of years. But how many other people And you've been on two of our Thursday night calls where people come on and just talk about their stories. It's
Wait.
almost like Ripley's Believe It or Not. Would you agree? I mean, the
Yes,
stories are
absolutely.
insane, crazy. But now you're part of that. You're part of this
Yes,
community. You're part of this movement, right? And the thing
yes,
I would say is, what else has kind of surprised you? That like it almost like it snuck up on you. Weren't expecting that to happen to you that you've been experienced already in just 15 days. That's what people have to
that's right.
understand. This isn't like 4 months. This isn't like 12 weeks. This is like 15 days. And,
There you
and you're
go.
already down. You're probably down more than 14 pounds now, but you were down 14 pounds after 11 days.
On day 11, that's correct.
Right. But isn't it
You know,
almost like the
mhm.
weight loss is like, we know that's going to happen now for sure. But what else has happened that you're excited about?
You know, Peter, prior to stepping on your program, I used to budget $100 a day for eating because I pride myself in eating as best as I can. And at $100 a day budget, I was cool with that. And when my friend told me that he was in a program and he told me what's the cost of it, I'm like, bro, that's less than a week expense for me. What are you talking about? Let's get on it. So for me, having to make one less decision on what I'm going to eat today is a massive improvement to me. For me, having to run from restaurant to restaurant, making reservation, all this kind of crap, one less decision, I'm so happy and grateful for. Also, the most important thing is, you're helping individuals to live better. When you look at my face, Peter, when you look at my body, all the toxic and the inflammation is disappearing. And when I look at my before and after, I was pleasantly
I'm
surprised
showing it now,
because,
Sean. I'm showing it to the
yeah,
audience right
I
now.
had no idea how bad I felt. And when you said that to me the first time, Peter, I was like, yeah, okay. I didn't really think much of it, but I have a lot of respect for you. So I didn't tell you I think you were cuckoo. I just said it in my head. So 7 days later,
Okay.
so 7 days later, when I saw the results, I called you immediately and I said, Peter, I have to share something with you. 7 days ago, you told me you have no idea how bad you feel right now, but you will in 7 days. Your words could never have been more true, Peter. And I'm here to invite everyone. If you look into the mirror and you don't see the peak performer looking back at you, you definitely want to get in touch with Peter and his team and let him show you a glimpse of what's going on. And as Peter normally say, give us 4 days. Just give him 4 days. Me, I lost 7 pounds in 4 days, but guys, I'm a ferocious, obsessive kind of guy. I'm all in for 30 days on my first step. And then we have some beautiful plans thereafter. Back to you, Peter.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say, Sean, is that I really think, number one, people have to understand this is not a diet. It's nothing like it. Let's talk about that. You've done diets in the past, correct? And
That's right.
and am I correct? You lost the weight only to see it come back like 10 times faster than you ever lost it in the past.
There you go.
How for the people listening, how different is this than a diet? And have you not learned through what we provided to you, the free coaching system, because we do give you free coaching, but
That's
how
right.
different has that been? And yet, how easy has it been for you to follow? And the results obviously motivate you.
Well, Peter, so I'm going to share it to you. I'm going to share it to you this way, buddy. I'm an extremely logical guy. And I normally take best of practices, put it together, and create a product for our clients. And I recognize you did the very same thing as well. You went into a warehouse of product. All the shelves were stocked, variety like you cannot believe. You took 5 core products. You, with your team, put together the time, space, and temperature. And you put together a formula that simply made sense. So when you explained it to me, and you said that the most important thing here is in the process, you're not losing muscle, you're just losing the toxic fat. It made perfect sense to me to the point where I see people becoming so desperate to lose weight that they lose the muscle in the process. And they're not even aware the hurt or the damage they're putting to their body. So now I'm in touch with a system like this. It is my core belief that is now my responsibility to get this message out to the world. And you ask me what was so surprising about the community? We're not watching 1960s before and after. We're not watching 1970s share your testimony. We're watching last week. We're watching last month. We're watching real time before and after details. And if I weren't doing my own before and after photos and seeing my transformation, I probably would have been like, okay, that's probably one of those infomercials or whatever. But because of what I'm experiencing, I am so happy and grateful. And the smartest thing I've ever done, Peter, was to document 30 to 60 seconds every day of my journey. Because when I begin to start sharing my story and telling my story on social media, I want everyone to see day by day what I was experiencing. Now, I'm going to share with you guys on the very first day when I tasted the shake. To me, it tasted like cardboard. And I told Peter and I told my nurse. And my nurse says, Sean, good. That's because you're toxic. I'm like, okay. So when she said that, and the reason it made sense to me, guys, I'm the Starbucks guy. I'm the extra caramel. I'm like, give me my white chocolate mocha, put some extra caramel inside of it, give my iced coffee, extra caramel. So my body was so toxic that when the product was introduced to me, it was like, whoa, what is this? But then when Cindy said, Sean, it just means you're very toxic. And my second shake was better. My third shake was better. My fourth shake was better. Peter, I feel like I'm eating chocolate milkshake now. I literally feel as though I'm drinking chocolate milkshake. And in fact, it's actually right over there incubating. When I get off this call, I'm on to my shake for today. Back to you.
And again, I want everyone to understand it's more than just a shake. There's like you said, there's 5 different products that were used in the medical studies. That's number one. But I would say the thing that's so different for all of you listening, okay, we teach you a completely different way of consuming food. The quantities, the timing, I mean, everything is different. It has nothing to do with dieting. And Sean touched on a little bit. And again, I don't want to make it a commercial for me. As a matter of fact, if you go, I posted the website down there on the bottom. You can go there for free. There's no books to buy. I'm not selling books. We're giving you access to this incredible information. But this book in particular is the thing that Sean was talking about, where every single one of us, including me, has this medical syndrome called TDOS. The T is for toxicity, the D is for deficiency, the O is for being overweight, and the S is for stress. And every one of us, because we're breathing, drinking, eating chemicals, we can't avoid them. So what our body's doing, it's taking those chemicals and stuffing them in the visceral fat. Let me show you Sean's before and after again, just to show you what they found in the medical proof. You look at his stomach in the middle section, and then you look at his stomach after just 11 days, you can literally see what happened. That visceral fat is shrunk. That's exactly what happened. And that's what makes this so completely different, and unique. Now, let me go just a little bit farther about how these chemicals that probably most of you watching this had no idea about. Let's go, and I always go to the experts. I'm going to read this section, Sean. I think it's important that everybody hears this. The Endocrine Society, the largest organization of experts devoted to research on hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, reports that the rise in the incidence in obesity matches the rise in the use of and distribution of industrial chemicals that may be playing a role in the generation of obesity. They call these chemicals, they actually have a name, Sean, they're called obesogens. That sounds scary enough, but they go on to say, simply put, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the function of our hormonal systems, leading to weight gain and many of the diseases that curse the American populace. They enter our body from a variety of sources, from natural compounds found in soy, from hormones fed to animals, from plastic pollutants in food packaging, and from chemicals added to processed food and pesticides sprayed on our produce. Listen to this, Sean. They act in a variety of ways, mimicking human hormones such as estrogen, blocking the action of other hormones such as testosterone, and altering the function of our genes and essentially reprogramming us to gain weight. Do you wonder why 80% of Americans are overweight? Let me finish. Frederick von Saul, curative professor of biological science at the University of Missouri. Obesogens are thought to act by hijacking the regulatory system that controls body weight. This presence of obesogens is the first reason that traditional dieting methods have become outdated. Never before have traditional low carbohydrate, low calorie diets been forced to accommodate for the levels of synthetic chemicals and adverse effects that have on the body. The body's attempt to protect itself from the constant assault of synthetic toxins results in the production and storage of fat. That's where you were, Sean. That's what was going on. It wasn't just about, even though you were trying to eat healthy, even though you were buying organic, it still didn't matter. You had nothing that was preventing your body from accumulating the chemicals until now. That's why I say to people, and I told you that, Sean, don't even do this to lose weight. That's like a given. I think now you get it. The weight loss is like crazy. But part of why you feel so much better is your body, you're basically giving your cells an oil change. So it's no wonder that you feel better and have more energy. I mean, you told me you're waking up like at 4 o'clock in the morning in just after
Sure am.
15 days. I mean, that's pretty crazy right there, isn't it?
Funny story, Peter. So the very first time I spoke to Peter, Cindy called me at 9:30. Guys, if you ever know anything about me, I do not get up. I do not take calls before 12 o'clock. I just want to do me. I'm going to relax. I'll take it easy. Let my team handle the stress. So when I saw Cindy call me at 9:30, I'm like, okay, it's Cindy. I'll take Cindy's call. So Cindy said, Sean, I hope you had your coffee. I'm like, okay, what's up? She's like, I got Peter on the phone. So when she got Peter on the phone, man, we had such a great conversation. We hit it off very well. And guys, now I'm waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm too excited to be in bed. We have an opportunity to live. Why am I going to spend time oversleeping? I'm sorry. I don't know what are other people's philosophy on sleeping, but my point is while I'm here, I'm going to live. When I'm done, I'll sleep as long as I have to. And Peter, it is not your position to market or promote your brand, but I'm here to tell everyone with common sense on this call. Go to peterr2m.com. I made it my business to create a link for Peter because I want people to go look at his work, look at his books, and if we have money to go buy fast food, if we have money to go buy stuff we don't need, we can go check out his book, feed ourselves, translate that in our diet, and then share it with our friends and family. So Peter's position is not to pitch. That's fine. If he kicks me off of his show for me pitching his business, I'm cool with that too. But I'm going to leave here by saying, go to peterr2m.com, check his card out because he has all the books that makes the difference. And the thing that society don't want you to know about, he's being honest in the book. Why are we promoting the McDonald's, all the fast food places that's really damaging our system? But yet still, when someone is promoting good health out there, it's a problem. I'm sorry, I don't know about you guys, but I'm an entrepreneur. I've been since I was 13 years old. So towing the line has never really been worked out well for me. So as I said, if my friend Peter kicked me off his podcast, great. Go to peterr2m.com before he kicks me off. Back to you, Peter.
Well, Sean, that's very nice of you. But I know Sean's very enthusiastic, and I want all of you to know, honestly, I don't want to have you, if you want to buy my books, that's great, but that's not the purpose. Our purpose is really simple. We feel an obligation to make you aware of what's available. We're making aware based on medical science for the first time after 38 years of research from the top weight loss researchers in the entire world, okay? There are so many, with 80% of America overweight, 50% are obese, 50% are pre-diabetic. We have a disaster on our hands. And what do we continue to do? We continue over and over and over again to think that the only way to lose weight is to count calories. And yet, it's been proven over and over again that that's one of the worst ways. As a matter of fact, Harvard Medical School, this is a good way to finish, they came out and said, stop counting calories. They said the idea of a calorie in and a calorie out is not only antiquated, it's just wrong. And then in another big study, they said 66 and 2/3 of people who go on diets by lowering calories or restricting their caloric intake gain back, listen, 66 and 2/3 gain back more than they lost. That's why this program, which is called R2M, that stands for Race to Maintenance, is so important. It's not just, yeah, exactly. It's not, yeah, R2M.
There we go.
Right.
R2M.
Yeah.
That's how in love I am, baby.
Yeah, I got it. You got some guns there, buddy. That's awesome, But so, in closing, Sean, what would you like to tell people that are listening to this to maybe give people hope that either are disillusioned, discouraged? I've had comments on here, I'm not disciplined. I've never been able to follow a system, et cetera. But what would you say to people about what you think this could potentially mean for, 80% of America is overweight. So obviously they need a different solution.
That's right. First of all, I want to address the people that were honest enough to say I'm not disciplined. I want to address the people that are honest enough to come to light what their shortcomings are or what their challenges are. And I'm here to tell you that's the first step. Being honest with where you are and accepting help is the first step. And it comes down to this. You cannot afford not to be healthy. You cannot afford not to be healthy. Think of your kids. Think of your grandkids. Think of celebration. Think of graduation. You want to be around for your kids and your grandkids. And the only way for you to guarantee that's going to be possible is by starting to take care of yourself now. Now is the time that you want to actually put yourself in a position to be as awesome as you possibly can for the people who love you. And, here's a shameless plug as well. every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When you come onto the testimonial calls, you're going to see people with real stories. Sometimes they get very emotional. Sometimes they get very energetic, like when it's Sean's turn to share his story. But you're going to be inspired because you're going to see yourself or someone you know in the stories of the people that's actually sharing their experience. So I would invite you to on Thursday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If the link is not active now, I'll make sure it's active before the end of the day. It's going to be Zoom R2M.com. It's going to be Zoom R2M.com. When you go to Zoom R2M.com, it's going to take you to the Thursday night testimonials call. Why is that important for me? Because I attended the first Thursday night call and I saw a friend of mine, Calvin. Calvin was giving his testimony. That's my buddy. I saw how happy he was. Next Thursday, I had my shipment right next to me on the same Zoom call. Following Thursday, I give my testimony, guys. So I'm here to tell you those testimonials call work. And Peter hates when I promote, but that's he can go see a psychiatrist. So that one, not me. I'm the promoter. He's the researcher. And I'm just here to say his work will not go unforgotten. And once I have breath in my body, a voice in my lungs, the world will hear of R2M. Better yet, they're going to see it everywhere I go. R2M, guys, all the way. You want to find out more about this guy speaking so fast? Go to Sean, R2M.com. That is SEAN, R2M.com. With that said, Peter, back to you.
Thank you, Sean. I don't know. I can't top that. That's really great. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing. And I would say, Sean, it goes without saying, I think we're going to have to do another one maybe after 30 days because I can't even imagine. Can you imagine where you're going to in 15 more days because you're only 15 days in, you know?
I'll tell you what my prediction is.
Yeah.
I have never been the guy to study my BMI, my ideal weight. I've just never been that guy until I got onto this journey. When I was able to lose 14 pounds in 11 days, I consulted with my professionals and they said, your ideal weight should be around 180. So I made a decision. I'm going to bounce between 175 and 185. My prime is going to be between 175 and 185. Peter, here's what's going to be mind blowing. My very first time, and I want to correct something. I have never done any diets before. I'm a blessed young man, but I never knew I had an extra 30 pounds on me. So here's my prediction, Peter. In my first 30 days, my goal is to drop that 30 extra toxic pounds. In my first 30 days, I'm going to drop that extra the 30 toxic pounds. And then my story, you think my story is exciting now? Just you wait until day 30. But in full disclosure, guys, I'm a walker. I love to walk. I'm always walking and I always have my earphones in and I'm working on my phone. So that was a little advantage to me, Pete. I get up early. I walk around the neighborhood, walk around the community. At night when the sun goes down, I walk so the blazing sun is not all over me. But I'm just here to say anyone that's looking into the mirror, I know you're not in the prime of your life. I'm going to take Peter's line and I'm going to tell you, you have no idea how bad you feel. However, when you do get on the product, 7 days later, what I just said will make sense to you. Back to you, Peter.
Wonderful. All right. That was a wonderful, wonderful interview. And I hope some of you will stick around and see where he is, you know, after 30 days. And I'm pretty sure that prediction is going to come true. So I wish all of you a great rest of your day, rest of the whatever you're doing, and to all of you, to the best health possible, to maximizing your quality of life potential. Thanks again, Sean.
Pleasure was all mine. Enjoy.